everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. It's been a little while since my last video. I did have things filmed that I planned to upload, and then just due to lots of things that never happened, so I decided not to worry about those and just start fresh with my Trope-ical Readathon TBR for March. The idea of this readathon is that all the prompts are based around certain tropes and you have to find books that fit those tropes. So there are 4 teams and I have joined the team contemporary slash historical slash something else that I can't remember, because I was able to find books that I own that fit the 2 group prompts, team prompts for that team. I won't be reading the group book this year because I don't own it, and the reason I do readathons is to try and get through books I own, not to buy new ones. So without further ado, I will start by going through my team books. So the first prompt for this team is to read a book with bookish themes, and for that I have chosen The End of Mr. Y by Scarlett Thomas, which I assume has bookish themes given that the first line of the blurb is, "This is a book about a book." And I remember hearing really good things about this from a friend many years ago, and I've owned it for a while. I did start it at one point. Oh, look, my bookmark's even still there. I read like 12 pages, but they were a good 12 pages, and so I'm keen to finally get back into that one and see what it's about. And then my other prompt is to read a book featuring a historical figure. So I have chosen The Grandest Bookshop in the World by Amelia Mellor, and this book is set in Coles Book Arcade in Melbourne, which was a real book arcade, which I learned that from following Amelia Mellor on Twitter. And so I assume that the Cole in the book is the real arcade owner, and that's why I've chosen this one for the historical figure prompt. It's got a lovely shiny cover, and I think this one will be really lovely. I'm really excited to read it. Along with the 2 team prompts and the team book if you're reading it, which I'm not, there are also 13 common prompts that everybody can aim for. So I have assigned a book to every single one of those. It is very unlikely that I will read them all in a month, but, you know, I've got plenty to choose from and plenty to aim for, which is what this is all about. So the first prompt, oh, that's the other thing. There's always the prompt based on the trope, and then they give you like an alternative that you could use to fulfill that prompt. So I've got a mixture of ones that are for the trope prompt and some that are for the alternate prompt, and I'll say which one they're for as I go through. So the first prompt is to either read a book with absent or dead parents, or with multiple authors. So I have gone for multiple authors, and I'm going to read The Other Side of the Sky by Amie Kaufman and Meagan Spooner. This duo are well known for their, I think it's called These Broken Stars trilogy, which I did not read. I didn't get into that, but I've read some of their other books, and I've read some of their solo books, and I've really liked them, and this one sounds really cool. I think it's middle grade fantasy, or maybe it's YA, I'm not sure. The next prompt is to either read a book set in a war, or read a book that could be used as a weapon, i.e. a book that is over 500 pages. And for this, now, how many times has this already been on my readathon TBRs lately? I still haven't got to it, but it's Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend, 3rd book in the Nevermore series. Is that the name of it? Yeah, 3rd book in the Nevermore series. I really need to get onto this. Maybe I'll get to it this month. After that, we have the prompt of either a book set in a small town or a book with a one-word title. So I've gone for one-word title, and I've chosen Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. I have a friend who's like quite critical of the books he reads, and like if he says a book is good, then it's really good, and he absolutely loves this series and recommends it very highly. So this is his copy, so it'd be good to get through this and get it back to him. I did start this as an audiobook like maybe a couple of years ago, but I wasn't getting into the audiobook, so hopefully I'll have a bit more luck with this one. After that, the next prompt is a coming of age story or a book that shaped you. So I've chosen The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. This is not a book that shaped me. I'm taking it as a coming of age story. I've never actually read it. And I'm, to be honest, not entirely sure that I'm going to like it. But it's such a classic that I figure I should give it a go and see what all the fuss is about. And maybe I will absolutely love it. Fingers crossed. The next prompt is to read a dystopia or a book that someone else chose for you. So I have chosen The Vanishing Deep by Astrid Schultz, which, according to a couple of reviews, is a dystopia. So that's good. This one sounds very intriguing. It's set in like a world where the oceans have risen and, you know, only the really wealthy survive, and also they have the power to bring people back to life for 24 hours. So, and that's what the main character does with her sister to find out what was going on with her sister when she died. So, ooh, all sounds very intriguing. I hope I like it. After that, we've got either the prompt is Blast from the Past or a book that was published pre-2000. And for that, I'm going to read Looking for Alibrandi, which was published in the early 90s, I think. Definitely pre-2000 because the movie came out in like 1994 or something. I've seen the movie, but a really long time ago, and I've never read the book, and this is such an Australian classic, so it's about time I sat down and read it. The next prompt is mixed media or an audiobook, and I'm going to go for audiobook. I haven't really been that into my audiobooks lately, but I've got one that's, I've had it for a while now. It's called The Christmas Hirelings, and I can't remember who it's by, and I can't check because I'm filming this on my phone, and Audible is also on my phone. But it's read by Richard Armitage, and it's less than 4 hours long. So I'm going to go with that one. And it sounds pretty cute, and it's Christmassy, and so I'm sure it'll be nice. Following on from that, the next prompt is set in a boarding school, or the alternative prompt is to do a buddy read. I haven't got any buddy reads lined up, so I'm going to read The Betrayals by Bridget Collins. How gorgeous is this cover? And her first book, The Binding, has a stunning cover as well. I read that last year and really liked it, so I spotted this at the library the other day and thought, why not? I'll give it a go. Next, we have either Enemies to Lovers or Friends, or a book you previously DNF'd. Now, I love Enemies to Lovers, but I don't actually, to my knowledge, own any books that like cover that trope at the moment, which is sad. So instead, I'm going to go with a book I previously DNF'd, and that was Finnikin of the Rock by Melina Marchetta, who is also the author of Looking for Alibrandi, which I mentioned earlier. This is her fantasy series that she started writing in 2008. Still got my bookmark in it from where I DNF'd it last year, so I'll probably still start it again, though I can't really remember what was going on. The next prompt is either multiple points of view or alternatively a book with multiple characters of colour. I've chosen The Old Lie by Claire G Coleman, and I assume it has multiple characters who are people of colour because Claire Coleman is an Aboriginal Australian author herself, and her books, they're speculative fiction, so her previous book was sci-fi. I think this one is similar, but I'm not sure. That, you know, she's usually exploring issues of race and identity and colonialism in her books, so it would make sense for a lot of her characters to not be white. Next, I'm going to be reading The Grief Hall by Karen Warren, and for this I'm counting this towards a book that is not my usual genre. So I really like Karen Warren as a person. She's a local author. I've done writing workshops with her and I've really enjoyed them. She's really encouraging of emerging writers. But this book in particular is kind of, I think it's a bit lit fic and a bit horror, and neither of those are really my cup of tea. This has been sitting on my shelf since 2017, so this would be a good opportunity to finish it, to read it, if I get around to it, so fingers crossed. And then last but not least, the last trope on the common prompts is a retelling or a book with a movie or TV adaptation. I've got two retellings to choose from depending on what I'm in the mood for. The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant, which is a Les Miserables retelling with some magic, and Eponine is the main character. so that sounds pretty cool. Or I've got Geekerella by, I can't remember, by Ashley Poston, which if I want something contemporary and fun and quick may also be a good option, and I'll see what mood strikes me during the month. So that's my massive pile of books to aim to read during Trope-ical Readathon in March. And you get a point for every page that you read, and then you get, I think it's 50 points for each prompt that you fill, and 100 points for the team prompts, and then 150 points if you read the group book, which I'm not going to. So hopefully I'll be able to do my team proud. I think my team won last year. I was on the fantasy sci-fi horror team last year, and I think we won. So let's see if I can do 2 for 2. I'll be back with, so I might do a vlog through the month, or I don't know, we'll see what happens. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!